My mind's playing tricks on me. Why won't it let me be? Look inside and try to find, but nothing seems to give me sweet relief. Why won't it let me be? Look inside and try to find, but every time it seems I lose my mind. My mind. Oh, It's Self-Helpless with Kelsey Cook, Delaney Fisher, and Taylor Tomlinson.
Thanks to HelloFresh for supporting Self-Helpless. HelloFresh shops, plans, and delivers step-by-step recipes and pre-measured ingredients so that you can just cook, eat, and enjoy. For $80 off your first month, go to HelloFresh.com/helpless80 and use the code HELPLESS80. Also, thanks to Lively for supporting Self-Helpless. For a limited time, get $10 off your first Leisure A order by visiting wherelively.com/helpless and enter promo code HELPLESS at checkout. Only available in the U.S.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Self-Helpless. I'm Kelsey Cook.
I'm Taylor Tomlinson.
I'm Delaney Fisher.
And today we are so jazzed to have on our guest. I don't use the word jazzed very often, but that's how excited I am.
I've never heard you use it, actually. So let's go with never, actually. Very
confidently go with
I'd
never.
love to know the other instances in which you were like, I'm jazzed about this show.
It's very few and far between. I save it for special occasions,
Yeah.
which today is because we have on the incredible comedian and actor, Adam Ray. Give it up for Adam Ray, everybody. Woo!
Yay! Woo.
You might know Adam.
DJ sounds.
Adam has been in like a bazillion things. He's kind of a big deal, you guys.
Let me
Says
just
his
get
mom's
that.
friends at Temple Beth Am. Which they do.
And as far as TV shows, you might know him from American Vandal, Arrested Development, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Silicon Valley, Workaholics, Two Broke Girls. In movies, you've seen him in Ghostbusters.
The one
Lost,
everyone hated.
The one everybody hated.
The one everyone was
What a
mad about.
backlash.
I actually loved it. It's the only one I've seen. But lot of people were
Spy,
mad.
The Heat. He's really been killing it. And he has a new album out called Read the Room. That's available now. It's with 800 Pound Gorilla. Great record
great.
label.
Great guys. Great
and
gals.
his own podcast
Yeah,
with Brad
your
Williams.
podcast.
Yep.
It's
Yes.
called About Last Night, which is awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, Taylor and I have both been on it.
We've both
Yeah,
been on it.
Elaine, we got to get you on.
Hey, I'm ready.
Come on, let's get that
do
hat
it.
trick.
I've been waiting several
Okay.
years to be asked, so let's do it.
Well, it's happening. Look it. Invite happening. I had to come here for you to
Started
come
with
there.
the cookies.
Yeah.
I see what's
He
happening.
brought us Starbucks, the petite French Madeleines. I have never
Taylor
eaten these.
I've been just butchering the French all
I
day.
really
It's hurting
have.
my
Everyone's a
heart.
cookie person, right?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
These are so
100%.
cute.
That's
they
the name
look
of my
like
next album. But I
a
think,
cookie person.
because I was trying to survey the snack, lounge that they have
very
there, and I was like,
kind.
what do you think? Like, what will go over well with?
Yeah,
what would white girls like?
yeah, pretty much.
White
Yeah.
cookies.
Probably not like cashews and raisin combos, right?
Oh yeah, we
A
would've been
cookie with a
offended.
white girl name.
Yeah.
Madeline.
Yeah. it truly doesn't
Second
get
off
wider than
things.
that.
And if you brought us a protein box, I would have been like, okay, we
Yeah.
get it. Like,
Yeah. You guys need some more develed egg in your life.
We're so happy to have
Yeah, thanks
you.
for having me.
Yeah.
Adam, I'm dying to know what your quotes are.
Yes.
said-
Great.
brought a
I
couple.
do, yeah. Is this how you open the ep?
Let's
Yeah, way to get it
freaking
back on track,
kick
Delaney.
it off.
Well, we're like, you know what's hard about promoting on Instagram? Really inside baseball.
All right. So one my mom told me early on was one actually that fucking Michael Jordan said, which was I don't even have it written down. I just remember it.
Wow.
How does it go? It goes. I can accept failure, but I can't accept not trying.
Ooh.
Love
Oh
it.
my God, I
Yeah.
love that.
Love that one a
really
lot.
good.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that I don't know if I.
I've never heard that.
Yeah.
I've never heard that
I feel like that
either.
should be everywhere.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
great.
I can accept.
Yoda
failure, but I
kind
can't
of
accept
dunked
it.
on him
Michael
on that
Jordan.
one. The do or do not, there is no try. It's pretty close. So
Damn.
I feel like
Pretty
Yoda
close.
kinda-
Jordan. Well, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Yoda is the Michael Jordan of
Star Wars, yeah.
characters.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Michael Jordan is the Yoda of basketball players.
Right, that's what I've always said.
Yeah. What if I was like, it's not Michael Jordan, it's Tia and Tamara from Sister Sister. But also, doesn't mean it's not true. So I definitely think I don't want to say like I have lived my life to follow that, but or keep it in the forefront. But I think for sure it's always in the back of my mind about certain things, and I've always put like a certain amount of pressure on myself to just high expectations. So it's if there's something I want to do or I think I can do it, then I usually find reasons to talk myself out of it, unless it's just something I don't want to do. But if it's
right.
like on a small scale, like the album, like going back and forth with like self-funding a special or trying to shoot something and set up some meetings and try to whatever, and then I was like, because I created some idea that was a bigger deal than doing an album. But then it was like, no, I just need like content. I like have all this material and I want to do it, and putting it together. And it wasn't like the most difficult of processes, but it also wasn't like a 2-day thing of like send an email, like organizing it and finding the place and everything. And so, and then I was like, all right, well, if this isn't and we did it actually at one club, and it didn't, like my voice went out at the Tacoma Comedy Club, and we only did 2 shows, and I was like, oh man, like, I was like, this is, well, maybe it'll be, try to keep like a positive mindset, but it just was not like happy. And the crowds were just like off. And so I kind of like, 2 shows in was like, or a show in was like, all right, this is not going to be it. But but they were cool to figure it out. The other quote is, don't let yet. Okay.
Is this the one you hate?
No, there's another one I love,
Oh,
and then
okay,
another
cool.
one I hate.
Okay, cool.
Is that cool?
Of
How
course.
many
Love
love
it.
quotes do you
Freaking
got?
lay it on.
Lay it
Yeah,
on.
I got a buffet of
Ready?
clothes.
Got my
We love
cookies
it.
to dip them in.
Oh my god! What do you dip cookies in, by the way? While we're on the subject,
Tea.
Yeah,
For real?
Cookies and tea.
These
Yeah,
are good
or,
tea cookies.
Or like coconut milk or almond milk.
yeah.
oh yeah.
Yeah. What do you dip them in?
I don't know. I used to, when I was a fat kid, I used to dip Pop-Tarts in Cool Whip.
Oh, that is
Yeah.
That's-
and you guys are so surprised.
my
but
9-year-old self just fell in love. I'm
my
like, oh my
36-year-old
God.
self just got hard. That was like just hearing about that, because I haven't done that
Cool
since
Whip.
probably.
That would put me down for
10
a
or
week
11.
if I did that
No,
now.
not when you're watching a full 4 hours of the Disney afternoon. You're like, I
You
got,
just lay down. You're like, I don't even feel bad.
Yeah,
'cause you're
I don't
already
even
on the
feel.
floor. Yeah.
I got so much
I feel nothing.
whipping cool inside me. The one I love is the other one is don't let yesterday take up too much of today.
Yes.
And what you
my
have to
God,
say
you
now
guys.
is,
Yeah.
But that's real shit.
Yeah.
Because like there's tomorrow. I can't help but read some of these quotes. I also have like a very guru-y spiritual friend that's
Did you
now
just
like
feel
a
an egg
life
drop when you
coach.
said that?
For sure, yeah. Like, and she's all about some of these quotes, so she's kind of ruined quotes for me in a way, because like the way that she says them or posts with like pictures of her in like the Bahamas with like these monkeys, and then it's like the choices you make are defined by the choices you don't, the risks you don't take, and then it's like her butt naked with a monkey, and like, yeah, I mean,
It's just good
all your
influencing.
choices are killing it right now. Your instincts are great. Yeah, like what am I supposed to pull message wise from this, other than I'm jealous of the beach and the monkey. The quote I hate is, and I want you to guess who wrote it.
Oh, I love stuff like that.
There are no rules when it comes to love. Think about it in a song form, and maybe that'll help
Prince?
influence your
Taylor
answer.
Swift?
That
Prince?
could be anyone.
Boom.
Was it Taylor
Cook
Swift?
for the win.
T-Swift.
Wow.
T Swift.
What T Swift song is
by
that
the way,
from?
if you do that with T Swift, she gives you backstage access.
If you do it 3 times, she'll appear.
You do
Wait.
it 4 times, she'll buy you a Cool Whip.
Wait, but which song is that from? There are no rules
I
when
don't
it comes
know.
to love.
I don't know the song. I just
But you've seen that quote a lot.
yeah.
Insta.
Ugh.
Man.
My
Yeah,
nieces
so
are
it's-
obsessed
What
with
do you think
her.
of the new
So I try-
song? Did everyone hear the new song?
No.
I like the new
It's
song.
called Me! Exclamation point.
There's a new
I
will
love
say this-
Nikki Glazer posting videos of her dancing to
Yeah.
it. I
Oh,
don't
she
know.
loves her, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
really
I
funny.
did take my nieces to her show, and it was
It's
phenomenal.
It's so great.
Yeah.
I took my younger
So,
sister.
I mean,
Good time.
Just because some of her lines are a little like no rules when it comes to love. I feel like there's quite a
There are
few.
quite a
like,
few.
Yeah.
You
Thousands.
like hey, is it okay if this happens? Like, do you like how many? Like,
Yeah.
there's a lot of
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anal.
anal. Yeah.
Yes or no?
What's your rule? Yes or no?
That you probably talk about that up
feels
front.
like a big rule.
Yeah.
I heard her
Sure.
new album.
Yeah.
The first song is Anal.
It is.
Yeah. So.
Anal! Exclamation point.
Yeah.
Me! Anal! You!
But she spells it with like 2 N's.
Yeah.
Yeah, she crushes it. But that's a quote that I
would agree, that's a
I have
shitty
some
quote.
trouble with.
Yeah.
And there's other ones that aren't as jokey, but
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a problematic quote.
Did you
Yeah.
go to the one where they gave out the wristbands
glowing
that lit
wristbands,
up?
yeah.
That was a really good time.
it was cool.
Yeah, it was really cool.
She's very cognizant of just the whole aesthetic aspect of the show. Like she had like 9 quick changes, I think. I
Yeah,
counted.
that's a lot.
And, it's like, guys, that was a 4th quick change. Oh, you're asleep. Oh yeah, it's 9 p.m. This is 2 in the morning for you. No, they stayed. One of them was so cute. She was like, she's like, I want to lay down and sleep. One of them did just like lay down and go sleep, and the other one was like, can you just like carry me so I can like kind of watch? So she was like on my back, like have a sleep, like watching like a very big spectacle-y moment of her like she was like ascending on this like robot dick, and like flames were coming out, and she was like, I've done anal. I'm paraphrasing the lyrics, but she said something really like magnificent, and everybody was like, holy shit, it was the climax of the show. And he's just like kind of watching. I was like, how are you sleeping right now? This is the biggest part of the show.
my
Oh, that's
God.
amazing. Did you watch Beyonce's Homecoming?
I haven't yet. And you probably watched it 20 times, huh?
I've watched
That's
it
your
4
girl.
times already.
Kelsey's the
I
reason
danced
I
to it this
watched it.
morning. It's been my workout.
Is it great?
For the next. It's so good.
It's
Is it
real
a
good.
it's not a concert documentary, right? It's like
It is.
It is.
Okay.
It's the concert.
I thought I
and
saw
then
some-
It cuts to like how that came to be. How the
Whoa,
But it's
I love
mostly
those.
concert,
Nice.
and it's amazing.
I mean, look, that's a show I don't know if I got like dope tickets,
Yeah.
I'd go.
Okay.
Right? If they were like,
But
if I was on my way like in that direction, and somebody was like, all you gotta do is exit right here, and there's a cool like Jay-Z's actually gonna be outside, and he'll usher you in.
That's the only
Then
way
you'd
you'd go.
No, that's not true. I'd go.
Yeah, Kelsey would like murder
I would
all
just
of
say-
us right now.
yeah,
to go.
that would I'd set this place on fire.
But I say that also having gotten really stoned and gone to Celine Dion in Vegas.
Oh, that's hysterical.
Unbelievable. Yeah. She also does a lot of stand-up.
Really?
What?
Sorry, what?
Stand-up.
Yeah, air
It's-
quotes, heavy
yeah.
air quotes.
In the show?
Look, she's been doing her show probably for 20 years, give or take, right?
Yeah, how do you sing
Hundreds of
My Heart
thousands?
Will Go On without just jamming a fork through your eyeball after you've done it that many times?
Exactly,
Like, you
yeah.
have to change it up.
It's
You
also
gotta do
like she knows
something.
people are coming for her. She knows she has all these great tracks just in her pocket. At
Yeah.
any point, she can be like, that's the way," you know, and just save the room.
Right.
So
Oh,
why
good
wouldn't
point.
you work out your mustard material or your condiment puns? She came out in a yellow dress and she was like, look at me. I'm like, Celine Dion.
Are you kidding
Yeah, that
me?
was half the room.
got
and the
that.
other
That's
half
a
of the
Pete
room-
Holmes joke.
Yeah,
dad
and the other
joke.
half of the room was just kind of dead, and like I was the pot had kicked in pretty hard at that point, so I was like, "What?" And my buddy was like, "It was pretty funny though. I didn't expect that. You know,
That-
what else you got? You know,
That's so
encore
funny.
with the stand-up, not the music."
That's not even on like topic. Like
No.
if she was coming out like, did you guys ever think maybe they both could have fit on the door? Like
Yeah.
if she was doing that,
Yeah.
that would make more sense to
She
me.
was just riffing,
that's great.
but she was always trying to make jokes. So it was a
I
tough thing to
hate that
pick up.
so much.
It's like when you got a
That's
stepdad and you're
incredible.
trying to get to know him, and your sensibilities are way off. And I'm speaking from personal experience, but hey, I'm sure a lot of people out there got stepdads, and you're trying to get on the same page.
Very
And it
relatable.
takes a minute. And it's taken my stepdad and I probably 15 years. And because he's a big play on words, big pun guy.
Yeah.
And so I could never tell when the joke was. And now I'm like pretty dialed in. Shout out to George. And but he, so I feel like that was just what Celine was working with. She's like just no real structure, and like, although I would love to know if there's like a writer backstage.
What if she
when
wears
that
that
Dijon
dress
joke hit and he's
every
just
time? Yeah.
like, do the mayonnaise one. Can she hear me? Is this on?
I knew it.
Yeah, but she like every opportunity was, or every moment was like a song opportunity. I mean, she would just like be introducing like members of the band. She's like, "This is Julio. He plays guitar. He's been playing guitar for me for 15 years. For 15 years. For 15 years, he's been playing guitar for me." And I'm just sitting there like, "Is this on the set list? What the fuck is going on right now? Too high for these
is
improv."
amazing.
Just my heart will go on, Julio,
Yeah.
Dijon.
Yeah, Dijon pun. If that's in the set list, I'll pay upwards of $100 for
Holy
that set list.
shit. I'm definitely
Oh
going to see
my
that
God,
show.
Julio is on there. That's so funny to imagine that she gets
God.
backstage and they're like, "What a show! The rain, my heart will go on." Like, we got more rain in the effects tonight. And she's like, "Did you hear the Julio song?" I'm like, yeah, it was fine. It was like it's 2 seconds. Like,
Oh my
oh
god.
my God, yeah.
Oh,
So you seem like you're really good at auditioning. Do you think you are? I mean, you're gonna be humble about it, but you seem like
No, I mean, I'll give you a
But if
very
you're like,
real
I'm
answer.
fucking amazing.
Hilarious. Well, look, I mean, I had one today.
not even that you always get it, but even if
No,
you don't
the
get
amount
it,
of auditions that I just thought about this the other day in just my own like, because you ask like, what do you want? And I've always been somebody, and that's probably contributes to the exhaustion. And my mom is always like, if I had some big auditions early in the morning, but I was doing 3 sets, she's like, geez, let's just listen to this. Sounds exhausting. Why don't you just go to bed and get a good night's sleep? I was like, Mom, because the good shows, I ride those vibes. into the morning. And also, and then I always tell her, like, this is how I've done it, and it got me to here, so why would I stop doing that? But,
Yeah.
like, there is value in, like, but then, like, don't die. But
That's how I feel about not hanging. I'm like, I got here by not hanging.
yeah.
So
I mean, like,
doing
shit, man. Like, you know, everyone's got their own path and system, and, like, but yeah,
You had an audition today.
Yeah, so I've always liked to try to do it all, and sometimes feel like I'm spreading myself thin. But the auditioning is just like anything, where it just takes like a bunch. Like, until I really started working in voiceover these past like 3-4 years, I mean, I auditioned maybe 12 years of just every day, like multiple things, like just getting, honing the confidence in that world, but also like getting to know like anything, like with stand up, like your voice and what you can do and what your skills are and certain things. And when you see a certain breakdown, like what voice you're going to do for a character maybe, or just how to inflect a certain word and whatnot. But same thing with acting. And I was just thinking about this the other day when I was getting like bummed about being like, God, all I want is my own fucking show, and that's truly what I only want. Like, I would drop everything right now for a little bit for that.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, but because that's what I came out here for. I came out here to act. Went to acting school at SC, and it's like podcast, stand up, everything else is keeping me busy, and like everything begets everything. But it's like I want to be acting like
That's your
way
ultimate.
more. Yeah.
Wow. I don't think I knew that necessarily. I was thinking that stand up was like
I went to
your
London
ultimate.
for a year and did like the whole acting program there.
Wow.
So cool.
And that's why I do so many act outs in my stand up, just because.
Yeah. I want to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, but you asked a question I wanted to answer. Oh, the auditioning.
Auditioning.
Yeah.
So like today I had one that it's a kind of a big one, and I feel like it went great, but then like literally 2 weeks ago I had one that was like, oh, I should quit the business. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I try to be as prepped as possible. I hate not being prepped. I'm always like memorized. I don't like having like some people like to hold it and just in case you forget. But if I have that, it's a crutch, and then I'm gonna go to it. Almost like with like a notepad for stand up. If like I have something there to look down, then I'm not going to try to do, And I've always been a decent memorizer, so it's like not a huge issue, but it's also like that to me is a whole part of the preparation. But I felt prepped, and then just my in-room banter, which I feel like is another part of the auditioning that takes a minute to get like to figure out. Like sometimes I've definitely over bantered or under bantered or improvised when I shouldn't, and like that's cost me gigs, and everyone's got their own like tactics, and like come in, just do the job, don't say anything, just do the job, make them want you. But then I've heard these stories of people that were just so charming, and somebody told me one the other day about Danny DeVito with Taxi being like, who wrote this bullshit? And then they were like, give him the job.
I hate that.
Like, and I'm like, all right.
So
that was in my head
infuriating.
going into one where I was like, maybe just tell him to fuck off. Like I do a
When
Danny
it's
DeVito
reading for
impression.
unicorn voiceovers, like, who wrote this shit?
This sounds like a lamb.
Oh my god.
That's so funny.
So it's just like anything, like just the more. But there's never, and just being consistent, like anything. Like that's when I feel like and even it's like walking out. If I feel like I walked out, I'm like, all right, cool. Like the audition for Curb that's my favorite show. So I was like, all I want to do is be the best that I know I can do in that room. And then if I don't get it, like shit, there's so many other fucking factors. And then as soon as I walked out, I was like, all right, cool. Like that, and it was so fun and with him and everything. And I was like, if I don't get it, all good. And then 10 seconds later, I'm like, I fucking want that shit so bad. But yeah.
I was gonna ask emotionally how you deal with the rejection of auditioning, because I know that not all of our listeners are actors by any means, but I do feel like a lot of people have situations where they have to put themselves out there and find a way to like emotionally be okay with the results going one way or another.
Yeah, not getting jobs you interview for.
Right.
I mean, we're all dealing with
Dating.
rejection.
Yeah.
All, like,
dating,
even though
absolutely.
It's just, I mean, like all the time, right? Like there's always something you want and don't get, or try to put yourself in position to. I think just being busy has helped distract me from like putting all the eggs in one basket. Like at in my acting program at SC, there was a handful of kids that have stopped doing it since because all they were doing was acting. And so then they would have their side jobs or day jobs and then auditioning and then waiting for those auditions and hoping those pay off. And if they didn't, then they're like, I guess I got to get another job or I got to. And they were just so stressed about that one opportunity. And I was like, that's why I started, doing sketches and just to keep busy so that like, and it's happened so many times where like, I'll leave an audition and either feel crappy about it or feel great about it. And then literally, like I remember there was this one I read with, God, again, it's like thinking about how many thousands where you're just like,
Yeah.
like you don't like get, and you just gotta keep pounding the pavement. That's another one from my mom. She also says, and she says Michael Jordan says this one too. She goes, just remember what Michael Jordan says. Just say fuck it. Fuck it and have fun. I'm like, I don't think you said that. It sounds like more of a.
I love your mom.
It's just
Scottie
your
Pippen
mom
quote.
not wanting to say fuck. She goes, you know what else Michael
She
Jordan
curses.
says?
Yeah.
You were an accident.
Oh my God. She screamed "have fun" when I was at the free throw line in this game. My senior year of basketball. This game would have put us into the playoffs, and our school hadn't gone like in 16 years.
my God, my
and I'm at the
stomach
free
is
throw
in
line,
knots.
and it's like dead silent, like a full gym, and she goes, "Just have fun."
Oh shit.
And she's known like real street fun, like everybody loves her, but like also known for being that, and like everybody laughs, and like it was too like obvious to not say something. So literally, I'm at the free throw line, and there's Karen, and I go, "Mom, come on!" And then like a lot of people laughed because it was just so like, what is happening? This mom screamed, like definitely like a couple minutes left and a tight game, you know?
Yeah.
That's a sitcom scene right
Yeah,
there.
for sure.
That's
Yeah.
so funny.
And so,
Wow.
but yeah, she would always say like, "Fuck it, have fun." But what was I saying?
Feeling great about auditions, feeling crappy.
Oh, and keeping
you
yourself
walk
busy.
out.
Oh yeah, so I had done this one where I was like reading with Martin Lawrence and Fred Savage is in the room to play like the other cop with Martin Lawrence for some show. And the guy, I think Ethan Suplee, you know, from My Name Is Earl and Mallrats, the big dude.
Oh, yeah.
It's a schooner is a sailboat. Remember? You've
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
Mallrats?
I've
boy, you
I've seen
guys are
both.
young.
I'm pretending.
I've seen both.
I'm
It's a
pretending.
great
Yeah.
movie. All right. But have you seen Shanghai Nights?
No.
Okay, that was a joke. That was like, what's a movie that
Have you
probably
seen
has-
Twilight?
Yeah. Yikes.
All right, so we've teamed up with HelloFresh again, and they are offering everyone in our audience $80 off your first month when you go to HelloFresh.com/helpless80 and use the code HELPLESS80. That's HELPLESS80. We love HelloFresh so much. It's home-cooked meals made simple. HelloFresh makes conquering the kitchen a reality with deliciously simple recipes. Cooking at home is enjoyable and easy with HelloFresh. They give you fresh, pre-measured ingredients and easy-to-follow 6-step recipe cards. And they have pictures all over them. They're delivered to your door each week with a special insulated box. So anybody can do this. Even if you feel intimidated by cooking, I'm telling you, could not be easier. And you don't have to worry about if you're not right at home when the box gets delivered. Everything's good to go. Make deliciousness part of your every week. There's 3 plans to choose from: classic, veggie, and family, with the option to switch between for when your tastes change. And I mean, I've been having HelloFresh delivered now for, maybe 6 months?
Several months,
It's
yeah.
been a long time that we've just continued to use them, Kane and I, because God, they're so good.
Yeah.
The food is delicious. The meals are amazing. And it is really simple.
Yeah.
It's just awesome.
Cam and I love the veggie option because it works for both of us. He can add
Yeah.
the cheese and stuff to his, and I can leave mine off since I'm a vegan now. And it just works. It's so convenient. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's so great. So for $80 off of your first month, go to HelloFresh.com/helpless80 and use the code HELPLESS80.
And thank you to Lively. Bra shopping goes from meh to oh yeah. Lively brings you a bra experience that leaves you feeling comfortable, confident, and it's available in 32A all the way through 44 triple D. Yeah. But they don't just have wonderful bras. Lively is creating an entirely new category for lingerie of movement they call lingerie. We love good wordplay here at Self-Helpless,
it's a good
don't
time.
we?
We do.
That's a good one. Lively offers bras and undies that blur the aesthetic lines of lingerie, active, and swim, taking the best elements of high style and functionality from each category. Lively is where high style meets ultimate comfort, soft fabrics, lounge-worthy fits, and clever details that support your life. Wear it all day because it's the most comfortable bra you will ever wear. Lively is a brand built for women by women to inspire them to live life passionately, purposefully, and confidently by empowering them with community, products, and experiences to do so. I absolutely love the stuff that I got from Lively.
Me
Oh my
too.
gosh, I'm wearing their underwear right now. I've got
wearing
the
their bra
black
right
and white.
now.
Yeah, black and
Ooh.
white stripes. Makes my bum look fantastic.
Oh, hell yeah.
What did you guys get?
I got
got bras.
2 bras and swimwear bikini bottoms.
Nice. I got this awesome sports bra, and it's like I needed a sports bra so bad because
Yeah.
as a minimalist, I only have 2 bras.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm so happy I got the navy blue and the mint green. It looks so cute. It is so cute and comfortable, and I'm gonna like wear it as a bathing suit because it's so attractive.
Yeah.
It's like you can do all of it. And then I got this adorable like strapless like kind of bandeau top bra that has like a really pretty mesh back. Anyway.
Yeah, the details on these are
dude.
gorgeous. I'm wearing one of the bras right now, and it's like air. Like,
Yeah.
it's so comfortable.
Yeah.
It's really, really nice.
What I love about it is like once I looked on their website, it's like if somebody was like, "Oh, Delaney's style, this is this."
Yeah,
like
that's so
if I
true.
had to like put my style on one website, that's exactly the stuff I wear.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like sexy and sporty at the same time, which is awesome. So for a limited time, get $10 off your first order by visiting wearlively.com/helpless. That's wearlively.com/HELPLESS and enter helpless at checkout. That's wearlively.com/helpless and enter HELPLESS for $10 off your first order, only available in the US.
Awesome. Let's get back into our episode now with Adam Ray.
So I landed at Tempe in the Tempe Improv. You're talking about like dealing with rejection.
Yeah.
And I was so jacked up. I was like, man, I'm gonna be Martin Lawrence's cop sidekick, and Kevin Arnold's gonna direct it. And then I literally land, and then and it was between me and 2 guys, and didn't get it. And I was like so bummed. But then I had to go on and do a show, so it was like I had no like, what are you gonna do? Bring that to the stage? You got to just hit the reset button and go. But like that was a very like defining moment because I was like, oh, this is why having other stuff is super beneficial.
Absolutely.
Because it just keeps you, again, like not putting all the eggs in one basket and like learning to kind of let go of stuff. And what was my quote? Yesterday takes care of today. Tomorrow's got some stuff too that's worthy of being today-ish. Fuck, what is it? Today
Don't let
feels
too
like
much yesterday into today.
Something like
Ooh,
that.
that's better.
I think something
Hey,
like that,
That's what
yeah.
it was.
T-Dub with
That
the,
is so
Keep
funny.
yesterday
what is it? Yeah, just
in the past.
fuck, I'm looking at this. Yeah. If you don't let yesterday take up too much of today.
Yeah.
I like yours
Yeah.
better.
Do you feel like when you walk out of auditions thinking you got it, that's when you don't get it, and when you walk out feeling like you didn't
Man,
get
I've
it,
tried to
that's when you get
dissect
it?
that
I know.
formula.
Yeah, I was going to
Yeah.
ask, like, if you have, like, superstitions, like, if, like, you think you're going to get it, if you, like, don't talk about it with anybody, if you,
Yeah.
like, have, yeah.
Well, I mean, I did have,
Are you even, like, superstitious right now to talk about it? Like,
well, like, no, there's one I had that was, like, I definitely, like, was, like, superstitious about, well, the one I went in for today, and there's an actor that's in it, and then my buddy was on the phone with him, and he brought him up out of nowhere, and then, like, I heard some ad for something, and then in the ad, after the radio DJs were talking about whatever, and they mentioned one of the old movies that this guy was in. So
Weird.
so I'm not usually, like, tapped into that stuff,
Yeah.
but I was on both accounts, like, that's a sign.
Oh, that's interesting.
But I mean, it also is just coincidence, right? I don't know. But yeah, like I try to subscribe to that sometimes just to make myself feel better if I walk out. Like that one I had that was just god awful a couple weeks ago. And I think my mom again probably came to the rescue with like, well, you probably were way better than you thought you were,
Right.
and it's, you probably they're just you're gonna get it. And I'm like, you don't know. Like, you told me to change my voicemail this week because if Spielberg calls and hears that, he's not gonna hire me. So you're.
You know what Michael Jordan says?
Yeah.
When you miss the basket, you actually make it.
That's so funny.
Put anyone say that.
Oh my God. There's like a book of like MJ quotes like then and now, or like
Or just your mom.
just my mom, like, oh my God, like, yeah.
You should
trying
start
to
a
figure out what that
Twitter
book is.
account called My Mom is Michael Jordan.
Write it
Yeah,
down.
but I will pay you to write the tweets. When you miss it, you actually make it. That's like his book, like when he's like 90, like just being, that's so fundy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that does happen, I guess, for some people, right? Where they're
Yeah.
like, you hear that story with like, it was awful, and I didn't read the room right, and I took my dick out, and then they were like, that's actually no one did that, and that's what we wanted. And you're like, all right, well,
Men listening, nobody wants that.
nobody
yeah,
wants that.
never,
Matt
never.
Lauer. Jeez,
I
you
got
sex button
I got some more
weirdo.
questions for you.
Yeah, bring 'em.
So you mentioned that you were a tour guide at Warner Brothers, right?
Universal.
Sorry, my bad. Getting the studios mixed
Good on
up.
time. Am I babbling too much?
No, you're
No.
very
Answering the
good.
questions.
I
good?
am just because a lot of our listeners are
Yeah.
in that like in between phase where like they have their dream job in mind, but they're still working all these different gigs to just like try to make it happen. What other jobs did you have before you like made it your full-time job, right?
Yeah.
And like how long did that go
Made
on
it.
for? And like what were the steps that that kind of happened for you?
So when I got out here, I did what is it called? Where you have a job at the college.
The program,
There's a work study.
Work study
That's what
program.
it's called. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I worked at the Hillel, like the Jewish Community Center, and then worked at the library for a little bit, and then worked at the DRC, like the school of theater, and then got the tour guide job, I think, when I was a sophomore in college. So then that was like in the summer, and then that didn't pay a lot. So then I was like, what pays more? Wolverine. and went in, by the way, the audition, they like made me wear they were like, wear like a tight muscle shirt and like walk in character. And I don't know shit about like Marvel stuff, so I walked in and I was like, what's up? And they're like, who are you? I'm like, Wolverine. Duh. And they're like, duh. Right. And then they're like, who are your friends? I'm like, oh, Matt and Trevor. They're like, what about Storm and Captain America? I'm like, they're all right.
Peanut M&M.
Peanut M&M. yeah. And then they're like, what are your powers? And I was like, just trying to be funny with it. So I did like a weird jump kick.
Oh my God.
And then it was like, and I'm like pretty good at calligraphy. Pretty good. I just picked it up. So like, give me a couple months, but then I'll be great. And they're like, what about healing yourself? And I'm like, that sounds rad. And I could fucking, like, duh, I do that. And then like a couple of them were like laughing and then like, whatever. But I was,
How did you get that job?
I don't know. Well, there were two other Wolverines above me. They needed a third one. So as Jay Moore used to call me, he's like, you're third string Wolverine, which I was. Because it was like they would do like
so funny.
Understudy Wolverine.
hilarious. There was like 3 or 4 days you would work and then a couple off and then somebody else would rotate.
Yeah.
Nice.
But so then Universal was it for a little bit. Then I got a job working at Fleming's, the steakhouse downtown for 2 days though, because my buddy was working there and I was like, I just started going on the road with Bobby Lee, and so that was like not super consistent. He was rotating a bunch of people, and then I was like, I need more income, and so I was like, I can, I like working with people because in high school I worked at Albertsons, a grocery store, for all through high school. My mom was like, I'm gonna help you get like a piece of shit crap car because I was like one of 2 kids to get my license the last day of freshman year of high school. And so she's like, I'll help you get a little car, but you got to get gas and insurance and you got to have a job to like do that. So I was like, all right, I'll work at the grocery store, like fucking, 45 hours a week. It was the worst because like, it was the worst and the best because I made friends with so many like older classmen that worked there and I have so many great like stories and just, it ended up being fun, but like it was right in the heart of like the town center, where like across from like Lake Washington, where all my friends would come in to get, Gatorades and pies or whatever. I don't fucking whatever the summer treats were. Whatever the popular treats were of 98, 99.
Dunkaroos.
Dunkaroos, yeah, for sure.
Gushers.
Gushers, fruit by the foots. And then I'd be there, bagging groceries or customer service booth and they're like, you're missing out, man. It's super fun. Or like, Siobhan wore a really cool bathing suit today. And I'm like, what does it look like? Because we don't have cameras on our phones yet, And that was cool. And then, but the steakhouse job was the worst because I was like, I like people. Again, this was my point about Albertsons. I enjoyed the interaction with people, but man, they like trained me, and I was trying to be like funny with everything, and I lied about my resume for sure. And the guy had liked some of my sketches and took a reference to my buddy. So he's like, I bet you'll be great here, and you'll be like a fun addition. And this guy Monty was training me. Shout out to Monty. You, dude, your middle name should be Anxiety because you created so much fucking unnecessary frustration inside of me. And I had a panic attack over butter squares, you asshole. And there was something called like Chantilly cream that you were supposed to offer them when you brought their dessert.
Yeah.
And even at one point I brought this guy a soup and I forgot the spoon, and the guy was like, do you mind bringing the spoon? I go, no, man, just figure it out with the fork. I go, enjoy. And then I started to walk away, and he was like, what? I go, I'm just kidding, man. I'll get you the spoon. He goes, oh, okay, thanks, man. And then Monty goes, hey, man, no jokes. Just go get the spoon. What's the figure out with the fork? What is that? Like, what if he thinks you're being serious? Then we have crazy people working there. I was like, Monty making a joke, man. You need to lighten up. And then I go back with the pie, and he goes, now you offer him our famous Chantilly cream. And so I go, sir, would you like any of our famous Chantilly cream? and so there's like backstage back in the kitchen before we go out there, and he goes, say it for me. He goes, so offer them some of our homemade chantilly cream. I go, chantilly cream. He goes, no, chantilly cream. I go, so chantilly cream. He goes, Adam, chantilly cream. I go, I'm saying it the way you're just putting your chin higher. That's the only difference here. Chantilly cream. And he's like, no, we'll figure it out when you get out there. And so I offer the guy the chantilly. I'm like, you want any chantilly cream? I'm like, Monty wanted me to do the chin up. And then I like put like a real big scoop on the pie, like way too big. And I was like, oh fuck. I was like, that's too much chantilly, man. Nobody needs that much chantilly. And then I try to like scoop it off his pie, and the guy's just like watching me, and he just looks up and he was like, man, you're not gonna be here too much longer, are you? I was like, I don't think so, man. And then I had that panic attack about butter squares in the back, and so 2 days, and then I quit.
Wow.
And I hit my mom on the way back, and I was, cause she's like, how's your day? My mom comes up a lot. We don't talk as much anymore, but back in the day, in those times, she really checked in a lot, and she was like, how is Fleming's? Is it great? Is it, and I was like, I quit, actually. It's funny you ask. And I had a panic attack over butter squares and chantilly cream.
What does Michael Jordan say about cream?
Michael says chantilly cream is in chantilly dream. And so then I was like, I'll figure it out. And I think that was and she's been good about that too, like in any sort of decision. Like, when I quit football to play Danny Zuko in Greece my sophomore year of high school, which was when, as you do. And that was when, and I did that show, and I was like, oh, cool, I think I want to do acting and be in the entertainment business because it was so fun. It'd always been kind of a hobby, and then it was like,
Look at you, High School Musical.
Oh, man, yeah.
Holy shit.
And then you get to college, and you're like, oh, everyone's voices are way better than high school voices if you really want to do it.
In high school, you just have to be a dude who's willing, who
I mean,
wants
like, I
throw
could
a
sing well
basketball
enough
at your dad,
for
like, it's your dream.
Yeah. And I was gonna play football, but she's like, don't live your life to like please other people. And she's like, and because she's like, well, what do you want to do right now? And I was like, well, I want to do the play. Like, we grew up going to them as a kid, and it was a big deal in our community. And we take field trips in elementary school, and like, so now like a chance to be, and I've already been in one, but this like to maybe. Because the lead was like, yo, I can't tell you, but like, we're doing it, and I think you should audition. He was kind of like laying it out. But the only other kid I auditioned against for Danny Zuko was this kid named Danny Park, a Filipino kid who was also amazing, but not going to be Danny Zuko.
For sure.
Yeah, not maybe now, maybe in these times.
Not back then.
Not in what was that, 1999? But and so she was like, yeah, like I was like, if I play football, I'll be doing it to please the coach. And she's like, well, don't do that. Like, you gotta do what makes you happy. And so when I was at Fleming's, I was like, God, I don't know what else I'll do, but I'll fucking figure it out. And like, cut to literally 2 weeks later, I found this job on Craigslist for $100 to dress up like Superman and go to some kid's birthday party. And it was like deep in Venice, and it was all these like rich dad assholes, and like they were like talking shit and fucked up. And I ended up like roasting one of the dads, and then the main dad like told me to go home because he's like, you can't be making fun of the dads. Yeah, he kicked me out. He paid me, but it was like 30 minutes in, and the dads was like, oh, he's fucking up, like he's just like ripping into me. And so I was like, you like the type of guy that gets cheated on, man. I was doing it like Superman voice. I was just like, because I'm also doing stand-up on the side, so I'm kind of like feeling, starting to get those.
And you're in a Superman costume.
You're
invincible.
I'm standing up for not just comics, but like
you get
superheroes.
On in front of his kids.
Yeah, in front of a lot of dads,
Wow.
and they were all hammered. And then he like got in my face, and I remember like I was like, just stay in character. Like, the last thing you can do is like get in a fight as Superman in front of his kids.
Yeah.
And then dad was like, I think you better go.
That's gonna ruin their dad and Superman for them.
Yeah, especially if
We
you
should've
lost.
gotten Batman.
Yeah.
I bet somebody said that.
I feel like the name of this episode should be, how did you get that?
Yeah.
Or how did you keep that?
No shit. But that was
Wow.
like, and then
Oh
shortly
my
after that,
God.
I started getting a little bit more like VO work, but then like not enough to keep it consistent. And then Bobby started taking me on the road more, and actually, because I was like, all right, I'm gonna try to be around the store more, because I'm not gonna and just try to just make other cuts to get by, and not because I was unhappy at that restaurant, even though it was 2 days. I was like, life is too short, like to go through all that. Like, why am I going to put all my time and energy into that? And then just being around the store more. And then Bobby took me around more, and but still, like, that wasn't enough to like survive on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you've really lived by the idea of like, do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
From
And where there's a will, there's a way. Like, that's always like it just. I've also never, you were asking earlier on about like childhood trauma and stuff, and like. never gone to, like, my mom tried to put me in, like, counseling after my folks split, because she was like, now you go talk to a stranger about why your dad cheated on me. And I'm like, this doesn't seem the way it should go down.
Yeah, you're like, I'm going to talk about it in costume to another dad.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Oh my God, I gotta use that somehow.
You were talking
I have
to
all these
your
old
dad.
divorce jokes that I like have, like I used to do when I first started, because I was like, talk about what you know, but it was always so weird. When you're a new comic talking about divorce, unless you're like really great,
Yeah.
So I just always made it weird. But that's a funny take on it now, because I don't talk about that Superman thing. I should talk about how that's my therapy. But so I never like went to therapy for that stuff, because I was always just like, not suppressing, but just like kind of had this mindset of like, just figure it out yourself, and like, I have friends and people I always talk to about stuff, but never, and that, I mean, we all do, right? I think you need that, like some sort of an outlet, but then there's like, you don't want to burden relationships and, right? That's
So
why
have you
people go
been to therapy?
Nope.
No?
No.
Do you think you ever will?
I think I should probably.
I mean, I just think everybody should.
I
I'm
think
not
every-
like, this
The
fucking-
amount of
yeah.
comics and actors that I've talked to that have like said like how much shit has like changed because of it.
Yeah.
Sounds very appealing.
Yeah.
But I also,
You're also doing very well, though. You seem like very well adjusted.
I'm okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I got my down days like anybody, and like,
Yeah.
but I think there would be a benefit of just like, talking out a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
I mean, you're talking about like not burdening the other people in your life. And I mean,
Yeah.
like you should talk to people in your life about what you're going through, but therapists have tools that I've found that like my mom or, fiance don't have. Like they're amazing to talk to, but sometimes I'll go tell my therapist something and she's the first person to be like, oh yeah, you should be approaching it this way. And I'm like, oh fucking yeah, of course. Like why didn't I think of that? And
Oh,
it's like,
shit.
oh, because this is what you do. You're a professional. Like,
right.
Yeah.
That's the benefit
Or if
of
they
that.
say the same thing your mom said, you're like, well, I guess that's for real.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
had that happen too in therapy.
Oh, really?
Where, if a professional says it, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess.
How many therapists did you audition before you found one that you enjoyed? Right?
Oh.
Or is
This
that a
is
personal
my-
question?
No,
Oh,
no.
that's
Yeah.
I mean, we talking about everything on here.
Yeah.
This is my third, but I had one in Seattle, but the only reason I stopped seeing her is because I moved down here. So it
Right.
wasn't like, I was like, next, like Simon Cowell,
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
bust her out.
Has
of
anybody
there.
ever brought their therapist with them? When
To
they've
this?
moved?
To the show?
Oh,
No, I mean,
I was
to-
like, to this
Hilarious. Yeah, just sit in the corner and take notes. No, like when they've like moved or.
you have to be so rich.
You'd
to
have
do
to,
you'd
that's
have
some
to-
like
yeah.
Kanye shit.
Yeah,
you can't just like,
seriously.
move
is
a
my
whole
You think he's in
person.
therapy?
No.
There's no way, right?
No way. No
Because
way.
why? Because the thoughts are just too free,
How,
too
I mean,
unfiltered.
can you even picture, that should be a sketch. Can you picture Kanye in therapy?
Whoa.
Dude, he's the writer of the song Can't Tell Me Nothing. You think a therapist is going to get through to that man?
Yeah, where would you even start with him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or he just has like a yes man therapist who's like,
Yeah.
all right.
You
Yeah,
do you,
absolutely.
like you're doing
Yeah.
everything
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, this is my fourth therapist, but it's been spread out over the course of like over a decade. I've always
Yeah.
done like very short increments. This is the longest I've probably been in therapy.
And you go for like what, an hour?
Yeah.
50 minutes, yeah.
Dang, it probably
50
flies by.
minutes? I think that's like weird. The
I know.
50 minutes is like, give me an extra 10.
It's to wrap
I
it
feel
up,
like
I
they-
think, and schedule your next, right?
Oh,
and then
okay.
Like they need
it's
to go
a
use the
grace
bathroom and stuff
period.
like that before their next person.
And you think about people are maybe 10 minutes late usually. You
Yeah,
know, it's
that
like,
makes
I don't
sense.
know, just like
What
a
a
little bit of
crazy
wiggle
job.
room.
I
Right?
know.
Yeah.
Like,
It's a
how do
lot.
how do you absorb all of other people's shit when you've got your own shit? Or, although maybe the same way it's cathartic for us to like be on stage, like maybe there is something about them just listening and talking it out that probably
That's their passion,
they find
yeah.
their own stuff to maybe like filter in and work out their own shit in the session.
Well, they
do
have-
somebody else's stuff.
I think aren't they required to have their own therapist too? Like
Oh,
as
really?
a therapist,
are.
you have to have a therapist.
Whoa.
I don't know if it's a
I didn't
requirement,
know
but
that.
it's heavily suggested or recommended, if not
They
required.
did that
I could
on The
be wrong.
Sopranos.
I know
but-
that like all my cousins who have been they're social workers, they like have to have a therapist, and I've heard of other therapists who like
Porn
have to
fluffers
do
have
it.
to have their own fluffers too.
Oh.
Yeah.
There you
Just
go.
Google it. Just Google it.
Makes
It's out there.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
known fact. Yeah.
All right.
Perfect. Yeah.
Do
So
you-
I think they have to, because I don't think that it's healthy to just
Yeah.
absorb everybody's shit and not
tell
let out-
everybody.
yeah.
You know, like they got friends. You don't think they're like
Oh, they're
going
totally
home?
telling their friends.
Oh, yeah.
They're just not revealing who
Confidentiality
it
is like a
Right.
suggestion, right? Like
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
down it. Like, there's gotta be
Yeah.
some good shit. They're going home and they're like, yo, I need pillow talk. I need dinner small
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
Like Taylor
Oh, yeah.
keeps talking about death. Like that's totally happening.
Yeah, for
Have
sure.
you guys talked about death on this a lot?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we had a
Dang.
death doula on.
Yeah, it was so
I
cool.
might listen to that one.
She was
That's crazy.
great.
Yeah.
I've had some crazy that's definitely a big fear for sure.
Yeah, are
Yeah.
you terrified of death? So are
Oh,
we.
yeah.
Do you think about it every day?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are
Well,
you
I've had
sure-
a couple scares.
Really?
Oh yeah. And then and I think about it now with just like folks. I mean, I've got people in my family that are pretty sick, and then even just my mom and stepdad are going on this. They just going on this cruise right now because he's about to retire, and she's talking about she's super active and in like decent shape, but she's about to be 70, and she's like talking about going like ATV riding on one of these islands.
Oh my
and I'm
gosh.
like, Mom, fucking no.
Yeah.
She's like, no, I'll be driving. George will be on my back. He's like, he's 75. And like, also like they both, they're both probably, batting 10 years above what they, or look like. They just, have young,
Yeah.
spirits
Yeah.
and still not young though. Like, I mean, like, I'm
Right.
like, dude,
I
you
mean,
don't need to be
ATV.
ATVing at 75, man.
Yeah.
So like that's like definitely like I'm definitely nervous from being over there. But yeah, every day for sure in some fashion. Also just because of some of the I had this crazy car scare my freshman year of high school where I was following my buddy and we were driving to the movie theater and we went down this hill and then we were at a stoplight and he was actually sitting shotgun. I was driving and our buddy was in front of us and we were like, oh, we're gonna go to this theater now instead of this theater. But we didn't have maybe we had cell phones at this point. This was freshman year of high school. It was 98. And so I go, just get up and go. I go, get out and go tell Evan that we're going to this theater instead. So he gets out and runs up. And then the light turns green. So then I'm just like wave him off. And he just gets in my buddy Evan's car and we drive to the theater. And then we were turning left. And I was following close behind them and I didn't like yield. And as soon as their car gets out of the way, I'm just like halfway through the lane, and this like giant Ford F-150 like big ass truck like just blasting some Brooks and Dunn or something, and coming straight at me, and I just like froze, and I was like, oh, that's it, and I just like held on. I remember
my
thinking
gosh.
that's it. And then
my
I remember
God.
to hear Celine Dion's Monster Joke, and I just held the wheel, and then it just like, and I turned it the last minute just enough to where instead of like dead on, because that would just crunch me. It like
my
I turned like that, so then it hit like passenger side, which would have been my buddy done.
Oh man.
Crazy, right? And then
Yeah.
like so it hit me, and it was a tiny little like 88 Chevy Spectrum like box of a car, like not even like a joke, like a clown car. Like if you saw
Yeah.
Brad driving it, you go, oh yeah, that's a real car for that guy because he's a dwarf. But so it hit me like this, and then flipped, and then spun, and
my
then like
gosh.
literally like flipped, and then spun, and like all the windows shattered, and was still holding on to the wheel, and then like came upright, and then I was just kind of like, and then I looked out, and I was like, oh man, and I kind of like get out, and there was people across the street, and a homeless guy at the 7-Eleven. I just remember the first thing hearing was him just going, man, you got fucked up. And I was like, all right, I think I heard that. I think that was like, I hope that wasn't like a homeless angel. I think that's down here on the ground. But I was so
Oh
like,
my
and then
God,
everybody was
Adam.
like, you should not be alive. That was crazy. Not crazy.
Were you
I think about that a
okay?
lot. Yeah, I mean, I had super sore neck and like, some cuts and whatnot. But
my
like,
God.
Oh my god.
but I definitely, I mean, the truck was the size alone should have just like,
Yeah.
Jesus.
wash it
Oh,
out.
my
Wow.
stomach like hurts
I
just hearing that
know.
story.
But also like
That's-
my buddy, like, isn't that crazy? The
That
timing.
is so
And he's like
crazy.
I was best man at his wedding. Like,
Wow.
Good Lord.
You need to listen to the Death Doula episode.
Oh
It's
Yeah.
pretty.
What do you break down like if you think about it too much, what it means, and like is it
Well-
one of those like those little things like
Oh, the dream.
Yeah.
No, what's that called? Fuck.
one like
Origami?
name a
Cootie
number
catcher?
1,
Yes.
2, 3.
I used to. Fuck,
Cootie
what is
catcher.
it? Cootie catcher?
Dan Cook used to have a great bit about it. Remember?
Yeah. Shit. For
There was like colors
Chinese-
and like.
It's a cootie catcher. I've said it. It
Cootie
says what it
catcher.
is.
Did you play
numbers
cooties
of
as
Why
a
is
kid?
everybody always
But I think there was another name for it, like a Chinese finger. No, that's what I call your pussy.
Chinese fan.
finger trap?
So funny. Isolate that audio. Make it my email alert. ASAP. Make it my email
That's
alert.
like a running thing on the
What's
podcast.
the Chinese finger? No, you put that in your pussy. What's the That should be how you end every episode.
It's
Just
a cootie. It's a cootie catcher or a paper fortune teller.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Fortune
okay.
teller.
Is that
Yeah,
what
yeah.
you're trying to think of?
We've
Oh.
it's been a-
Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but wait,
My
so you
vagina
did.
is clinically tight. Anyway, I'm wondering if that experience it really plays into the whole you got to do
Life's
what you
too
love
short.
because
For sure.
life's too short. That's probably always in the back
Also,
of your head, right?
for sure, and also a kid. When I was in 8th grade and he was in 7th grade, this kid's name was Rex Hammond, and just the sweetest, nicest, most athletic. Like, you know, when you hear these stories or somebody, you know, passes away tragically, and you nationally you hear about them and they break them down and you see their picture and no bad things to say about him. I mean, this kid was that kid and just like so popular and so giving and just amazing and like destined for just a lot of great stuff. And he got it was like my first taste of death, and he got kidney cancer. And all of a sudden I just remember hearing like, oh, he's in the hospital because he's got like something going on. And then like literally like a month later, like my buddy who's now who was best friends and who's one of my best friends now was like giving us updates. And then I remember he just like coming over and being like, man, he like died tonight. And I was just like,
Oh my
what?
gosh.
And so that was so crazy. And like being at the funeral like in 8th grade, I mean, it was just like,
So young.
you know,
to be,
grandparents
yeah.
after that was still, you know, awful, but like so I felt somewhat prepped for that experience. But like, man, a classmate and at that age, like I don't even think you've
Yeah.
completely identified what death is or the fact that it can even happen. Like you feel so invincible in 7th and 8th grade. Like, you know,
Totally.
you're doing
That pops the bubble real early.
yeah. And so that fucked me up. And yeah, like real hard. I remember, you know, and like, you know, I remember just like being really like people, you know, eventually you get out of it and you know, find things to, and you start hanging out. But I was always like so bummed. And people were like, man, you really taking it? I was like, yeah, like, and we were friends. Like everybody was friends with him. So
Yeah.
I wasn't best friends with him like my buddy was, but just like the idea, like I just couldn't stop harping on like, the fact of all the things like he didn't get to do or wasn't gonna get to do. And I'm sure there's been, you know, on a weird level, like some part of me like trying to be more active and do, and again back to my mom being like, oh, you should like don't be doing all this and you're trying to do too much. And it's like I think I definitely, or even like with spots when it's, if I get a chance to go out 4 times in a night, which isn't every night, but when it does happen, I'm like, I got to do it because I very actively remember scraping for a couple of weeks. So if I have the chance to do a bunch, I'm like, I don't want to not do it because I remember that time. And also I have that mindset of like the fact that I get to do that and then thinking, I don't think I'm thinking like directly of Rex, but I'm sure that is still like that seed has been planted probably of like, you got to just try to
Make the most of the
Yeah,
potential
right?
you get
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying this out loud and realizing that, but I'm sure that's in there somewhere
Yeah.
because that did like fuck me up so much.
Yeah.
Do you have a belief about what happens when you die? Do you know, like, are you, because like the death doula really helped me in this area because I was having such awful death anxiety like every single day constantly. And she was like, that's usually because you don't know what your beliefs are yet, or you haven't really mapped out what you believe.
Have you decided on a belief?
Yeah, I think so. I
What
think
is
it's
it?
just like, I don't know, energy, consciousness, something that I can't explain. I don't think it's possible for humans to explain what the fuck is happening,
Yeah.
right? That's what I think. I don't know though. But I'm open to not knowing because I'm not going to claim I know something that really nobody knows,
Yeah, totally.
right?
I mean, what do you so you go back and forth with thinking
I find it really hard to believe that that's just it. Like, I think that's so shitty and scary. And like, how did this even happen? Like, what are we doing here? I think that's crazy. Like, what? That's a mountain. Who the fuck did that?
Yeah.
Like, what's the very first thing that started this whole thing?
Yeah. Where do you get
So-
your pot from? Yeah.
See,
I
I
hear
have like
you.
such
I
hear
anxiety
you.
just talking. Like
You don't
I
even wanna
fucking
think
hate
about
Because
it.
is it
I hate
because
talking
you
about
don't have your beliefs kind of mapped out, or you do?
Or is your belief I'm never going to figure it out, so let's not talk about it?
Yep, it's just like
I don't like to
wanna talk about
think
it.
too
Yeah, I don't think
get
there's
too
anything
heady about certain things is my response.
Yeah.
And I have thought about that, but then as soon as I start to go down that path, I'm just like, man, I'd rather fill my head with like more fun. I was about to say funner thoughts.
Oh, that was
Can we make that a word already? It's
should
too.
be. I feel
like
It's
Jeff
too
Dye
already
has.
almost there. That's
Jeff
very
Dye
Jeff.
has bits called funner, I feel
Yeah,
like.
he does. Yeah, he's a true
Yeah.
dum dum. But
really
but
is.
hot.
Yeah.
But a hot
Well,
dum
he has a
dum.
whole bit.
Hashtag.
Doesn't he have a
Yeah.
bit about like it's gooder to be dumb
Yeah.
or
I
it's
think that was the
funner
name
to
of
be
his,
dumb?
a CD or something.
Something
he
like
did.
that. Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
when he says genuinely don't make no sense.
Yeah.
I'm like,
He leans into it. There were times when we first started being friends because he crashed on my couch for like 5 months when he first got here, and certain things we would say or text, and I would always call him out on it because I was just like, dude, not a word, or just type back like, here's the way that you meant to use that.
Yeah.
And he was, I think, pretty receptive.
I
of it.
think he's a good sport about it.
Yeah, to a point. because like who wants to be called out
Sure,
truly
yeah.
on their dum-dumness all the time.
Dum dum
And I got that word from Jeff. He's great.
Jeff, you're very funny. We
yeah,
all
very
like
funny,
you a
yeah.
lot.
You gotta say that, isn't it?
You
funny?
have
It's
to
like
say- I mean,
clearly
he
he
knows.
yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like his life rules.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Thank you so much
Is
for
that
doing
it?
this.
You've been
yeah,
amazing.
you've been
Yeah.
amazing. Sorry
You
we
guys are-
kept you so long. I feel
No,
like
was this longer than?
we usually do an hour, so
wow.
we went over with
Holy
you.
cool.
shit.
Well, you guys are
'Cause
fun to chat with, so could chat forever.
You're the funnest to chat
He's
with.
the best.
Yeah.
He's
Thanks for having
genuinely one of my favorite comedians.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Anytime anybody asks, I feel like we get asked that question all the time as comics. Like, who are your favorites?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, Adam Ray.
Yeah.
Man,
I mean it. One of my favorites. So
Spoken
good.
And you're
pride.
so funny off the cuff too. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, all your material is very funny as well. But just like,
it's okay.
yeah, just like you're so. Well, that I'm one of those dumb people that's like, they just thought of it. Like, I'm one of those simple people.
yeah.
So that's always so. Like when we did those live podcasts, I was just like, oh damn it, Adam's so funny.
Oh man,
Like that
Well,
was so funny because it was such a rough situation that we were in.
That was rough.
And you were so funny.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
just
you were a
like fight or
trooper.
flight. Like
Mm-hmm.
man, like didn't feel like anybody could hear anything, and like
Yeah.
this is my alma mater, but not how I wanted to come back
Right.
and do
Yeah.
things at all. Like, yeah.
Yeah, you're amazing.
What is the animal, real quick before we wrap this up,
Mm-hmm.
that when we did that show in Spokane at that theater,
Yeah.
right?
The garbage goat?
No, that your mom. I remember just being fascinated with. There's an animal that your mom was like rescuing and trapping, right?
Raccoons?
There it is. Boom.
Oh my
I
god.
was trying to think about the other day where I was like, man, I had a really good laugh, and it was it was like a really fun bar conversation where it was like, show was great, we're hanging out with her mom and friends, and then you told me, and then she elaborated on it, and it was like, man, I
Yeah.
could have talked raccoons for at least 45 minutes.
That's so funny.
It's deep. I mean, she doesn't live there anymore.
Right.
But like,
Does she still have an infatuation with rescuing animals?
Yeah, that's
That's
it's
awesome.
like some.
That's a good sign of a loving mom, right?
Oh, the best. Yeah, that's like her. She's programmed to nurture what needs to be nurtured to the point that she's like, Buddy the elf, like risking her life. Where it's
Whoa.
like, don't fucking hand feed that raccoon because it will.
That's
steal
right, risking your life. I remember that being a part of it, where you were like, you were like, it is adorable, but don't like,
Yeah.
don't nurture this habit because there's like some danger involved. Raccoons are also terrifying.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like
Oh,
just
man.
because you named them doesn't mean they give a fuck about
Yeah.
you.
Hilarious.
Like
just because
so
you named
funny.
them, yeah, they don't. At the peak of my
Kids
fatness,
are like that too.
They are.
Yeah.
Kids are the worst. The peak of my fatness, I had this big thing of spaghetti meatballs. I was running downstairs to watch some show, and my sister would always leave cat food out for her cats and the stray cats that she would
Right.
take in. And it was late night. I'm running downstairs late night, probably like 7:15, and I'm running downstairs, and I hear this scratching at the door, and I thought it was like one of the cats. So like one play in hand, I kind of opened the door, and it was a raccoon, and it got on all fours and went,
Oh my
"Where's my raccoon cam?" Like that. And I dropped the spaghetti and meatballs. My mom's not home, by the way. She's working late. Dropped the spaghetti and meatballs. Just picture Fat Adam running down the stairs, being like, "Can't wait to eat all of this and watch the show." And and then all of a sudden, and the raccoon's like, "There's no more spaghetti after you drop that," is what it said in its fucking scare. And I dropped it, plate broke, spaghetti everywhere. Also terrified of the raccoon because I've never seen one live. I didn't even know that they were in our neighborhood. I didn't know raccoons lived in cul-de-sacs, but apparently my sister tells me later, she's like, "Yeah, they eat cat food." I'm like, "Well, then why the fuck is it on our front porch all the time?" And so then I dropped and then the raccoon runs away. Now that I think about it, it even stayed there for a beat, being like, "Hey, fatty," and then like ran away. They're like getting more meatballs, and then I looked down and I was like so genuinely distraught at a broken plate of spaghetti and meatballs because my mom wasn't home. That was the food she left out. Oh man, watching the show with no food. Probably then walked up and was like, "Get it, Pop-Tarts and Cool."
That's how
that
that started. Yeah, my mom
my
moved out of that
God.
house like almost a year ago now. And
Oh, cool.
Sometimes people leave a house.
That's right,
and
she's
then,
down here.
Yeah, and then like new people move in, and there's like, oh, maybe there's like spirits or whatever. For whoever moved in there,
They went-
fucking raccoons. Like
That's
they
not something
moved
you
in.
tell the new people, is it?
No, no,
Like,
no.
"Hey, look, I befriended a bunch of creatures. If some creatures come looking for treats, hey, be cool. Tammy's the coolest. If Tammy's cool, you'll be cool." You're like, "Who's Tammy?" "You'll see you later." Yeah.
Oh, 100%. You
Yeah.
know that they like moved in, and there was just like 7 of them. Like, sup, bro? Like, this is
Whoa.
This
we
is
live
our
here.
house.
This is our house. Yeah, and
Ralphie likes Kobe beef sliders. Well done. Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
She's the best.
Oh man.
Well, thanks
plug
for
all
having
your
me.
stuff
Yeah,
so
where
that
can
people
we
can
So
find
the,
you.
the album is Read the Room. Wherever you get audio fun. Oh, look at that. iTunes, Google Play, I think Pandora, Spotify. About Last Night podcast, also on iTunes and all that jazz. AdamRayComedy.com for tour dates. She-Ra season 2 is out right now. I'm the talking horse sidekick.
Love it.
Yeah. Follow Adam on Instagram. He posts such funny videos all the time.
I try to.
Yeah.
I mean, I just posted a bunch of stories this past weekend being home with my niece and nephew. My nephew trying to fill a Slurpee by himself. Classic. Guess what? Spoiler alert. It spilled over the top. And then I made him say Wheezing the Juice into the camera. Pauly Shore, Encino Man. Yeah. Put it in your cue. Okay, Taylor. Yeah. Is Joseph Gordon-Levitt in that? Yeah. And then I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes if you haven't already and give us that 5-star rating and review. We've been consistently on the chart. I mean, I don't think we've come off the charts now for a long time, but
No, you're not going anywhere.
we keep getting closer and closer to breaking the top 100, and it's because of you guys. So if you give us a 5-star rating and review, it really helps. So take a second and do that, and yeah, that's it. We love you guys.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
You guys, we love you so much. Thank you for supporting Self-Helpless. You can follow us on social media, on Instagram and Facebook at Self-Helpless Podcast. And you can visit selfhelplesspodcast.com for all things Self-Helpless. Learn about Patreon and how to sign up. Our merch is there. Information about our Facebook group and how to join. All the episodes you can listen to are on there, a little bit about the show. Our individual sites are linked there, and our contact information, email, and P.O. box if you want to send us some love letters. And you can follow us individually as well. I am at Delaney Fisher on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and DelaneyFisher.com, where you can watch my docu-comedy special, Love It First Cousin, for free. And then DicksByDelaney.com if you want to buy some dick mugs.
Sweet. I'm at Kelsey Cook Comedy on Instagram, at Kelsey Cook on Twitter, kelseycook.com for all tour dates and merch. And my album, Savor It, is still available to buy on iTunes, and you can watch Wrists of Fury, my foosball web series that has an episode with Taylor and Delaney on the All Things Comedy YouTube channel.
I am at Taylor Tomlinson on Twitter and Instagram, and ttomcomedy.com for my Netflix special and all live tour dates.
Sweet. We love you guys
So much.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Why won't it